Today's podcast is brought to you by Faith vs. Fear, Breaking Family Ties, now available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. You are now listening to Renewed Mind Revolution podcast with your host, Michelle Kakal. You are now listening to Renewed Mind Revolution podcast with your host, Michelle Kakal. Please begin to take that good deep breath as we begin to refresh, recharge, and reset. Let's go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Renewed Mind Revolution podcast with your host, Michelle Kakal. As always, it is my honor and my pleasure to be able to chit-chat with you, share some tips and some tools that will assist you in becoming a better you. And guess what? It does not matter when you start. No matter how many mistakes you made, no matter where you are in your life right now, do you know that you can start all over again? Well, you can. And I'm so excited to be able to talk to you today as we discuss some of the ways that we can. Some of the ways that we can start all over again. Some of the ways that we can give ourselves a second chance. Look, today is going to be a good day. It's going to be a great day. I know, as I've said to you over these past couple of months, that there is so many challenges. There are so many things that you and I both are facing. There has been so many adjustments that you and I have had to make during this transition. Okay, but what we're here today to do is to make sure that you are making healthy and positive choices during these transitions. Now, transitions can be very uncomfortable for some, and some just roll with it. They have no problems, they have no issues. But there are some of us, I'm gonna put me in it, some of us that can find transitions uncomfortable, can find transitions very challenging, right? And so what we talk about here is different ways that we can make sure that we're just rolling with it in a healthy way. We're always checking ourselves. We're always making sure that we are looking out for our mental health, our physical health, as well as our emotional health. I love to say emotional health because I think sometimes we forget that. So we want to make sure that we're keeping that all together in a healthy check and balances, right? We do a check and balances on ourselves, and we want to make sure that we are doing the best that we can for ourselves during this very challenging time. Now, listen, I just want to encourage you guys to continue to listen to this podcast, Renew My Revolution. If it has been any assistance or help to you in any type of way, please feel free to share this information with someone else that is going through something that you know we have discussed throughout our different episodes. I get such great feedback from you guys, and I'm so grateful that this is actually helping, that this is actually hitting home, right? It's hitting the target for you, because that's what it's all about. It's all about being able to reach you where you are, and getting you to understand that you are not alone, getting you to understand that your issue or situation is not isolated, that there are many people who are affected and deal with some of the same issues that you deal with and that I deal with. And I think that when I had that revelation in my life, it changed so much for me. And I realized, and not saying that I didn't necessarily know that, but I did accept it to myself. When I began to accept the fact, and this is a fact, that others deal with some of the same issues that you and I deal with, it made life much better for me. It made me look at things different. We talk about perspective often in this podcast because I want you to understand that your perspective, which means your position that you've taken on how to look at something, makes a huge difference. We've had some great news as we were continuing on with this podcast. We have reached a broader audience. We are now available on Spotify, Pandora, and iHeartRadio. I don't know if I have told you guys this before, but I definitely want you to know that. So even now, we're able to share this information with our friends, if whatever format they are listening to, whichever platform they are listening to, you can let them know now we are on all of them. So go ahead and check us out and share this information. Also, I wanted to make sure to reiterate to you guys that a lot of the material that I share here on Renew Mind Revolution podcast can be found in my books. I have a book entitled Breaking Family Ties. This book helped so many people. It helped so many people because they saw their family. They saw themselves. They saw the issues that were passed on from generation to generation to generation, and it shows you how it's passed on. And then not only does it show you, but it shows you how to eliminate it. I don't believe in giving you the issues without giving you a source of how to rid yourself of the issues. I mean, no one wants to just hear a whole tally of their problems without someone giving them a lifeline. Okay, so Renew My Revolution podcast is a lifeline, and I'm so grateful for this platform and this opportunity to be able to come into your homes and share this with you. Also, the book that we use a lot on this podcast is Faith versus Fear. I've used this a lot within a couple of months that we've been dealing with the pandemic, COVID-19, and all the changes and adjustments that we've had to make through this several couple of months. But we've done it, you guys. We've done it together. We've made it, past a certain mark. And so I'm so proud of you for sticking with me and for being the best that you can be. I know that you're conquering. I know that you're soaring. I know that you have taken these tools and you've taken these tips and you've applied them to your life. How I know that is because the feedback that I get is individuals who are actually listening. And they're listening because they're repeating to me what I've said and they're applying it to their lives. And application process is extremely important to me. Once again, that's a lesson learned, is that you can't just hear this information, but we have to be purposefully applying it, right? So intentionally, we're going to apply everything that we hear, everything that we've learned, everything that we know. We're going to apply it to our lives. It's really something that you have to do intentionally. And the reason why I keep saying that is because I have come across a lot of individuals who know the information, who are equipped with the information, have books and a library full of information to help them and to assist them to come out of the place that they are, the dark place that they are, the unhealthy place that they are. They are well informed as far as books and material. But the gap comes from them applying it to their lives. And so it means absolutely nothing, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely nothing to have information, but yet not apply it to your life. And I say this often because this part often right here, you're worth it. I say this often because I want you to remember that. I want you to remember when you're trying to decide if you want to make that change, if you're on the edge of making that change or staying where you are, I want to remind you that you're worth it. You're worth it. You have value. You have input. You are important to society. You are important to your family. You're important to a cause, a purpose. You are important. And you might have all these excuses in the world as to, your past, your family background, and all the reasons why you believe that you're not. And I'm here to just knock that type of thinking down. Like, just imagine me just taking my hand and knocking it right on out your hands. Okay. I don't want you to have that mentality. I don't want you to have the attitude or the perspective or the thinking that you're not worth it, that you're not good enough, that you're not strong enough, that you're not smart enough, that you're too weak, that you've been through too much, and and all this, because these are the things that goes through our mind. Okay, people won't always they won't always be honest and admit this, but a lot of people are plagued by negative thinking. They're plagued by this. They're constantly playing in their minds, all of the mistakes that happened from their childhood up to where they are. And they're saying, my mother, didn't do much. My father wasn't there, or he didn't do much. My grandmother, they didn't do. They have all these excuses of, all the poor choices that they made in their life so far. And, they're limited amount of education, limited amount of resources of where they are right now. And so I want to get you out of the place of where you are right now, because where you are is not the end. Okay, it's not the end. No matter what avenue or journey you took, or road you took to get where you are, it's not the end. There's so much more for you. There's so much in front of you. And it's about perseverance. It's about continuing to push forward. Now, I said a lot in these couple of minutes, and normally what I do, the first thing I do is share with you what I'm going to talk about. And so I normally do that the first thing I do. But I feel so compelled to be just open and honest with you guys about some things that, I have been seeing, some things that I've been hearing. And so I wanted to make sure that before we get into anything else, I address that. Just knowing that people are right now just putting themselves down, allowing the situations or the circumstances to put them in such a state of fear. It's disturbing to me. And so I want to make sure that I just remind you today, if you haven't listened to any of my other podcasts, go back and listen to them. But for today, those who are listening for the first time, just hear me when I tell you that no matter how many mistakes you made and how long you made those mistakes and how many, poor choices that you made and wrong roads and avenues or whatever that you made, just understand that that's it happened to you, but it does not define who you are. You're more than that. You're greater than that. You're stronger than that. You're bigger than that. The fact that you're even listening today lets me know that you have great potential, because you're seeking and looking for change. You're seeking and looking for better, greater, stronger, a 360 turn in your life. Some people will have the opportunity to hear change and they walk away from it. Some people have the opportunity to be presented with better and they walk away from it. But the fact that you took the time to even listen and you have your ear and you're listening to it, let me know that you are on a better path. You're ready to change. So what I want to talk today about is what if. What if? I've discussed this a little bit in the past in my previous podcast, but I wanted to talk about that today, the dangers of the what if. Now, when I've shared it before, I always emphasize so we can get an understanding that there is a good what if and then there's the bad what if. Today, let's look at the negative of a what if. The positive what if is looking at things, the glass half full versus half empty. That's the positive of what if. But we're going to address what we know that people are dealing with a lot more of, okay? And that's the fact of what if in a negative way. And so what do I mean by that? I mean that everything could be going good for you. Just say that it is, okay? Everything is going decent. Really, finally, things are kind of making sense. You're having a good day. You're having a good moment or whatever. And just when you're trying to enjoy that moment, you're finally present in that moment. We talk about feeling, an autopilot and numb. We're not talking about that. But this is a moment where you actually feel good. You're actually there in that moment and you're living in the moment, right? You've been actually listening to the podcast and you've applied it to your life, and so you found yourself right now living in the moment. And just as you adjusted yourself to living in the moment, here comes the what if. What if you get a phone call and it's some negative news? What if the bill that I paid, the money doesn't go through? What if the check that I've been waiting for doesn't come through? What if the report back from the doctor tells me something that I'm not ready to hear? What if this pandemic never changes, never get better? What if life never goes back to the way that I'm accustomed to it being, used to it being? What if there is a surge in COVID-19 and we get another wave of it and we go right back to where we were into quarantine? Can I handle that? Can I deal with that? What if there is a shortage of food and I can't get the things that I need? What if there's a shortage of medication and I can't get my medication? I mean, these are the things that goes through people's minds that has not even happened. That has not even happened. But they're trying to enjoy a moment. They're trying to live in the moment. And here comes all this bombardment of negative thinking. Come on. Let's be honest with one another. You can be looking in the face of someone who you've waited for your entire life and you love them. You want to spend the rest of your life with them. And you're so happy that they're here in your life, and you all can be sitting across from one another enjoying dinner, smiling, and then in the back of your mind, what if they don't love me the way I love them? What if this love doesn't last? What if they find out that I'm a little insecure? What if they find out that I'm a little uncomfortable in certain environments, in front of certain people, in front of certain situations? What if they find out that I'm not as perfect as they think that I am? Come on, people. The what if? What if? How many times have you been told to get in front of people and share some information that you're very comfortable with and very informed with, and you have to do a presentation? And as you're doing your presentation, you begin to have the what if they don't agree with what I'm saying? What if I'm not coming across the way that I should come across? What if my information is not strong enough? If it's not thorough enough? What if I didn't do a good job the way that I thought that I did? What if they don't receive my information? What if they decide to go to sleep on me, or to nod off on me, or to look or start playing with their phones? Or, I mean, the what ifs. I'm giving so many different type of examples, as many as I can think of, because I want to touch just about everybody as I can. Okay, you're being the best parent that you think that you can be under the conditions. We're not perfect, but you're doing everything that you can, and you're trying to enjoy your children and look at them and watch them and participate as much as you can participate in their lives. And in the back of your mind is saying, what if they grow up and don't and say that I didn't do for them what I thinking that I'm doing for them? What if they grow up and say that I wasn't there for them, or I didn't go to that basketball game, or I didn't go to that baseball game, and they ignored all the other ones that I went through, but that one is the one that they remember? What if my children, don't make it? What if they don't accomplish the things that I felt that they should and that I knew that they could do it? What if my children, their dreams are crushed? And especially as we go on through the pandemic, people start to think, how is that going to affect my children and their future? What if? We are in a state right now as a community. I use that word all the time because we are all connected. We are in a state as a community where what if is screaming out at people. Hear me clearly. Screaming out. People who even are right now afraid of even having a future. They're afraid of having a future. I mean, how many times have an individual who has a skin of color get pulled over, and now they're thinking in their mind, what if this basic pull over, just a basic, your tail light is out, basic, your headlight is out, basic, I just want to check to see, whatever, turns into a deadly moment? What if? What if my children see me die What if my children witness my murder? What if? This is what we're plagued with right now. The what if. What if? And we're looking at it from the negative side today. We're looking at it because this is what people are dealing with. What if the change never comes? What if? What if we find ourselves repeating this over and over and over and over again? What if I find myself repeating this over and over again and see no change? I mean, I've been dealing with this issue for 15 years. What if I'm still going to be dealing with it 15 more years? Can I survive that? Can I last that? Can I handle that? This is what people are dealing with. Can I handle that? For 15 more years or 10 more years or 5 more years of the same issue. People who deal with anxiety and depression, panic attacks, right? Sickness and afflictions, right? They're saying, how long? How long is this ever going to end? Is it ever going to change? Because I can't keep having these moments for the rest of my life. That's not a quality of life. I'm touching on something today, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody's saying, I can't do this anymore. I can't, not one more day, not one more minute. I could not see myself dealing with this same struggle, the same drug, the same issue, the same prison, the same pain, the same grief, the same hurt for 5 more days, better yet 5 more years. So when you take hope away from people, people become deadly and frightening and scared. A person with no hope is scary. It's a scary, scary place for a person who has no hope. And that's what happens when you constantly allow yourself to be burdened and bombarded with the what ifs. What if? What if it just doesn't happen? What if it just doesn't change? What if I don't get this job? What's going to happen to my family? What if we don't get this loan? What's going to happen to my family? What if we don't get this? If I don't get this promotion, what's going to happen to my livelihood and my dreams and all my goals? What's going to happen if I don't get this treatment? What if, the world goes nuts and crazy and I'm in the middle of my treatment? How does that affect me? What if I don't get what I need? There's so much going on. And there's so many voices screaming out, what if? What if? And I'm coming to tell you today, because you all know that's what I do, right? I love to propose it all, throw it all out there, and give all the issues and the questions and the concerns. But then I like to give you an answer. What if? Well, what if you change your what if to it shall be? I shall have whatever I declare and decree. I will come out of this. See, we are so powerful. The same way we are emphasizing and giving power and authority to the what if in a negative way. The same way we're allowing our thought pattern to be bombarded with the what ifs in a negative way, we can condition ourselves the total opposite. I should have what I say. Come on. You hurt yourself enough by saying all the other stuff. You've done more damage to yourself doing the other type of thinking and the type of speaking. That's our reality. That's your reality. That's my reality. You've done more damage to yourself by speaking all of the negative and thinking all of the negative. So, what is your option? Your option is to change it. Your option is to shift. Don't wait for someone to change it for you. Don't wait for someone to come and spin you around and give you some, great plan. But your option is to take authority of whatever it is, whatever your position is, whatever your situation is, whatever your concern is, to take the authority of it and switch it and flip it. I'm going to have what I need. My needs are going to be met. I am not going to want for no good thing. Come on. Whatever I need shall be provided, shall be supplied for. Okay? It's going to work out. This treatment is going to work out. I'm going to come out of this. And not only am I going to come out of this, but I'm going to have so much, so many testimonies and so much information that I'm going to help somebody else. I'm going to be able to share and empower someone else who's going through the same thing and are lost. And I'm going to help them. You are going to take it because what? You were designed to take it. You are going to be able to handle it. Why? Because you were designed to handle it. If you are in it, that means you are in it to win it. I'm not trying to sound, funny, but it's just the truth. It's the truth. And I want you to take on that attitude as you begin to face the rest of your weekend. Take on that attitude. That listen, it has happened. There's nothing that you or I can do to change whatever has happened in our lives. Some things has happened to us. We had nothing to do with it. We didn't play a part in it. It just happened to us. We happened to be in the middle of it, catch the end of it, whatever. But it does not have to define you. Where you are right now is not your end. In some of our cases, it is our beginning to a greater place, a stronger place. We are resilient. When I watched human beings go through what we've gone through, even these last couple of months, I realized how resilient we are, how we are designed to be resilient and to persevere and to push and to press. We are designed to do that. I watch people just take a punch after a punch after a punch and adjust and adjust and adjust and live. That's resilience. That's brilliant. That is absolutely just brilliant. What was designed to destroy, what was designed to take you out, what was designed to pull you down and keep you in a very dark place, you were able to take it, to press, to persevere, to push, and to conquer. You've done it before. You just didn't know what you were doing, probably. You didn't know that you were conquering, but you did it. And you'll be able to do it again. You'll be able to do it again. One of the best words, a couple of words I've ever heard from someone when I was going through something, and I didn't emphasize what I was going through in my day. She said, I had a rough day, but I'm good. I'm great. And their words to me were, but you made it. You survived it. You got through it. And it was so simple, but it was so profound for me because it's true. It's absolutely true. No matter how horrible my day was, no matter how many things that came my way that try to take me down, try to take me out, try to take me away from my joy, my peace, my sanity or whatever, I conquered that day because I was still standing. I had not broken down. I had not given up on life. I had not let go of what I believe in or who I trust in. I had not given up at all. I just merely said that it was a tough day, but I'm okay. Come on. I conquered that. And sometimes I think that because of the way we feel, that's why I always say let's get our emotions in check. Because of the way we feel, we think that we lost. Sometimes the way that we go through so many changes, take so much of our energy, it drains us. And sometimes we come across thinking as if we have lost. But we have not. And you have not lost. I have not lost. You are here. I am here. We are still here. And we're still conquering every day. And you can get up, wake up, do what you need to do throughout the day, and be able to close your eyes at night to restore and refresh. You've conquered that day. No matter how many mistakes you made in between. You survived it. You made it happen. And so I am so proud of you. These past couple of months has been very challenging, but you have stepped up to the plate and you conquered it. I mean, you did that. And just as you have done these past couple of months, you will continue to do. So I'm so happy to be able to continue to come on here. And like I stated, I'm even more excited that we have expanded our territory and we have been able to reach more people. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm so happy about that. I'm so grateful. Listen, I do not like to keep you long. I have a lot of information to give, so you will continue to hear from me. As God's willing, I will be here for you. Remember to share this information with someone else who needs to hear it, you guys. Somebody needs to hear this information just like you. I love encouraging you because guess what? As I always say, when I help you, I'm helping myself. You have been listening to the New My Revolution podcast with your host, Michelle Cacall. It has been my honor and my pleasure to share with you some tips and tools to assist you in becoming a better you. Follow me on my different social media platforms. You can catch me on Facebook. You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter as well. Remember to go and check out my books, Breaking Family Ties, Faith versus Fear. Just look it up on Amazon.com or go over to Barnes & Noble. I look forward to hearing from you as you leave your comments and your concerns. God bless you guys and have an outstanding day.